This is Dean Amore with More Than Sports. I am here with Isaiah, Reed, Kyron, KJ, and D. These five were at the Smith Performance Skills Clinic just a few weeks ago, and I interviewed you guys afterwards, and you guys all had masks on, and I couldn't hear what you said when I tried to edit them. So I decided to have you guys all on again because, I think it's important to really hear about what you guys learned from the Skills Clinic and, just find out more about who you guys are. So let's just get started. Let's talk about the biggest takeaway. So what's the one thing that you learned the most from the Skills Clinic? Isaiah, we're going to start with you.
Probably just like that all this hard work you're putting in is like it's bigger than just football. It's like life. It's like how you're gonna like grow up and become a man. Just like how your life is gonna roll out. It's just all depending on how you're growing up, the morals you choose, just how you decide to control yourself and your emotions.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Reed, what about you?
I'm gonna go with Isaiah on this one. With how all this hard work can, help you become a better man. Even if football doesn't take you anywhere after high school, all this hard work that you learned with football and all this stuff is just gonna help you in the long run.
Mm-hmm. That's good. What about you, Kyron?
I took away the how to become a better leader, that leads out of football too, better communication, just being a leader and, telling your teammates when they're doing something wrong, standing up, and trying to help them out.
Mm-hmm. And you, KJ?
Biggest takeaway I take is always be positive. Don't always be on yourself for a mistake you made. Even the best players make big mistakes. Yeah.
That's good. What about you, D? Davion? I think you're frozen. Yep. Oh, there you go. Okay, what about?
Okay. You said what now?
What was your biggest takeaway?
Okay, so my biggest takeaway, adding on to Isaiah and Reed said, was that I took out being a different person off the field and on the field, being a leader, being somebody that can influence other people to be good. As when the little kids was there, it was good to help. Like if they was in need to show what to do in a drill, and it was cool. Like they could use that us as the bigger kids, especially me, to show them what to do, help them out, and just to give them that good experience. And I like how they use scenarios off the field rather than say what we have to do on the field. They say if you go to a work job, you want to be presentable. You want to talk right. You want to look right. You want to, everything. And I really like that how they taught us that stuff there.
So let's talk about what, they did a few different drills there. What was your best drill, Isaiah?
I think when we went to it was like the half field drill where we had two receivers and 2 to 3 defenders. Just because I could really communicate with my quarterback and the other person I was working with, just to figure out our chemistry together. You know what I mean? Just to figure out how to get all those routes perfected, because it's not just going to be you on the field. So when you're working by yourself, it's completely different than when you're going to be in a game. There's going to be all different people running around you. You just got to be aware of your space.
What about you, Reed? What was your best drill?
I'd probably say the one-on-ones in a competition, because that's when you really get to show what kind of player you are. You can do all these 40-yard dash, broad jump, but that doesn't show how well you can play with press coverage. Just trying to put your own spice on it. You can play. You just choose what you want to do, and you just try to perform as best as you possibly can. And I felt like I did pretty well at the competition part.
That's great. What about you, Kyron?
My best drill was probably the 2-on-2s and 2-on-3s, because I really I knew I had to come in knowing how to learn better communication, like talking to other people, saying what I got to do and what they got to do just to make sure like they know what they're doing before the play starts. So yeah, that was really good.
And KJ?
I'm in between the shuttle and the high point drills because I had like a really good high point that like everyone was just like getting hype over and like seeing how high I could get, especially for my size. And the shuttle, like I definitely had a quick time and I was definitely happy.
That's great. Yeah, you were pretty quick out there. D.
This one for me was the competition parts. Me showing what I can do when somebody's guarding me tight, what I can do to get around the defender and get in the open to get the ball, and also playing on defense, showing me I can do both on offense and defense. And I like playing against everybody because, you know, we don't know everybody there. So it's new things we can learn from them. We're teaching each other everything, you know, how to make each other better at defense, make each other better offense. So, yeah, the competition is the main thing.
So let's talk about the coaches that were there too. You know, they had some pretty good coaches that were there that really know the game of football. So what did you guys get out of the coaches? I mean, you had TR who played for the Ducks, and you had Alex Green who played for the Packers. You know, and then other Duck players as well. And, you know, there's Ickey Woods and Rashad Carter. Like there's people there, those coaches that knew what they were doing. How does that help you knowing that all those coaches that were there have played at a high level? Start with you, D.
So learning from them was the best thing, you know, learning from top notch, especially from Alex Green, seeing what it's like being in the NFL, and him like coming to me, talking to me personally, telling me what I could do to fix my mistakes and make it better, shows like, okay, I can really understand what he's saying because, you know, he already been through it, done this, been there, and just hearing from them coaches and telling us what we can do and what we can fix ourselves, so that we don't have to make the mistakes they made was nice, and I liked it.
What about you, KJ?
Definitely Rashad Carter and Efo, like especially with the Rashad, like he's a wide receiver and like I also play cornerback, so like he teaches me things like that wide receiver does that I can pick up on that like normally cornerbacks wouldn't. And then Efo, like he taught me like great footwork and how to move my hips.
Yeah, I forgot Efo. Sorry, Efo. What about you, Kyron?
I really love the coaches there. I learned a lot from, you know, Carter, Woods, and Efo. I've been working with Carter and Aaron for a while now, just not that, like before the showcase. And I just started working with Efo, and he really helped me, like, get my feet right on the defensive side. And, you know, Carter and Aaron really helped me on, like, getting the details right on the route running that we were doing, like routes on air and stuff. So, yeah, I really liked what they were doing.
What about you, Reed? Are you there, Reed?
It was definitely cool. I like all the coaches. They all have their input to say. And, like, you know, it's kind of cool learning from these guys who did make it to where I would want to make it someday. You know, they definitely can tell you the steps to make it to the big leagues pretty much. So it's definitely cool to, you know, talk to them and get some, you know, like information on like how to become a better athlete.
What about you, Isaiah?
I think it really, like how I said in the other question, it really just shows that it's more than football because they're done, they've been there, they've done all this, and they're really just like want to go out and give out this information to all these other kids just so they can make it to where they want to be one day. And I mainly play offense, but when we were on defense, kind of how KJ was saying, I was learning all these things that corners would do as their techniques, and then I kind of brought that over into the offensive drills. So I know like all the different things and techniques that the corners were trying to use, so I would know how to run my routes correctly.
Well, and kind of like you guys said earlier, it goes much deeper than football. You know, that's what these coaches, I know at the end of the clinic, talk to you guys about as well. You know, it goes way bigger than football. Football teaches you so much more. You know, it does teach you how to be a better man and respect. You know, I mean, there's so many things that it teaches you. And being around coaches that have been there and that can impart that wisdom onto you guys, while you're still in high school, is pretty important. I think that's good to have that foundation early on so that you guys don't make some of the same mistakes they've made, or, you have people to talk to that have been there. And I think that's great that these coaches give back. So talk to me a little bit about training at these events, and how important is it for you guys to go to these events? And, what's the advantage of that? Kyron, we're going to start with you.
Can you ask that one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. So these showcases and skills clinics and things that you guys go to, what's the advantage, do you think, for you to go to those?
An advantage is really just like, if you're like a young person, like if you're a freshman or something, really get your name out there, like how everyone's going to want to, because I don't think really any of us are like 3 stars and all that. Like no one really knows us. So, it's just a good way of competition and to compete, show why you're there.
That's good. What about you, KJ?
I definitely agree with Kyron, my bad, on with getting your name out there, especially like at the young of age, because like you want to get your name out there to like interest, get coaches' eyes on you. So.
What about you, D?
It's for taking advantage of it, like, while everybody else is, what TR tells, while everybody else is home, we're putting in the extra work. So when we go out there, we're energized, we have the energy, we're there ready to go. And just getting us that extra work at the clinic can improve us, to be honest, improve us to get better. And like Kyron said, as like a freshman, if you want to get your name out right then and there, that's the best thing to do. Go to those type of things, get your name out, get your stats, get everything out there.
What about you, Isaiah?
I think that just like how everything is right now with Corona and everything, I think this even reflects back to school that like, even though like times are crazy right now, you still got to put in the hard work. You still got to be out there doing what no one else will do. Like there's no really excuses to not be working just as hard. Like I know there's limitations with like how close you can go to people, how many people, but that's not really an excuse. As long as you're staying safe and keeping everyone else safe as well, there's no excuse that you shouldn't be working hard.
That's good. What about you, Reed?
The fact that COVID's around and you can't do as much stuff as you used to, I find it very important to try to get to these things, because you can't just be at your high school and just run routes and expect everything to be handed to you. You have to go out and train with some of these guys who know what they're talking about. You have to take steps that normal people might not want to do because it's too hard or too difficult or whatever. So the fact that I can go to these clinics or showcases with guys who have been there to like D1, and then I can meet these guys like who give out stars and all that stuff, it's very important to me. Definitely, since I want to start getting scouted, because when I'm a senior, it might be too late. So.
So let's talk about COVID. Obviously it's something that's affected all of you, and when it comes to football and school. So how do you guys maintain a positive attitude with everything that's going on? I know we've talked before we started about school and how, it's a little bit difficult right now to do the whole online school. And, I understand that. I think that would be a struggle even for me. If I look back at high school and I had to do online school, that would have been a struggle. So how do you guys keep a positive attitude towards all of that? D, we'll start with you.
Okay, so like as a senior, it's your last year. You really can't mess up. And keeping a positive mindset, like I want to get to, just telling yourself every day, I'm trying to get myself to B1. I'm trying to get myself out of here, I'm trying to go show myself and present myself good, just keeping that mindset that you want to be something. It gets you through a lot. So mix of school and playing sports, you want to keep that mindset of positivity and just keep pushing it through and tell yourself, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna do what I can do.
Yeah, I think that's important. Mindset is everything. What about you, Reed?
I personally set goals for myself to like achieve because that makes me happy. You know, seeing myself improve and seeing myself start somewhere and gain, you know, ground to making myself a better athlete, a better student, a better person. So I just get the happiness from seeing myself improve all the time.
That's good. That's definitely setting goals is definitely something that can keep you positive when you're actually accomplishing those too. So those are good. What about you, Isaiah?
I just really think about like I think back to my morals and like what I'm doing all this for. Like I put in all this hard work. Like why stop now? When it comes to school, athletics, anything really, I'm just like my parents have put me in like a good position. Like I know I don't have it as bad as other people, so I don't really have an excuse not to work as hard as they are or even harder. So I just really think back to why I even started in the first place and where I want this to take me with my life, and just think back to that.
What about you, KJ?
Definitely like start worrying about the negatives. Just like take it as a challenge, like because you have challenges throughout your life. So like take it as a big challenge, and if you like set goals so that you can like overcome and like feel great about yourself. Like yeah, I did this, and I did that.
That's good. What about you, Kyron?
I really think it's just about like how motivated are you to do it, because I think like that's like the number one thing. Like if you're not motivated, and like what Isaiah was saying, like you gotta have your why, and I hear that a lot. And like some days I'm like, I don't want to wake up for school and all that, but I know my why, you know, so that just motivates me to, you know, do school and keep working every day.
That's good. That's all really good. And I think for everything each of you said can be applied, you know, to people that are watching right now, you know, even to their life. I think those are all really good ways to stay positive. So I'm impressed with all of you and your answers. So let's talk about this. I'm pretty sure each and every one of you want to make it to college. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what's one thing that you want colleges to know about you? Now, I'm assuming each of you want to go and play athletics. You know, you want to play football. Dee, I know we talked about basketball as well. So what's one thing that you want really the coaches to know about you, the person? Let's start with Isaiah.
I really love working hard. I love a challenge, and I'm not afraid to go out of my comfort zone for the success of like other people or my team.
That's good. What about you, Kyron?
I'm really, you know, maybe not right now, but I am becoming like a better leader, because I know it's usually like the quarterbacks, you know, it's usually the quarterback that leads the team, but it could also be like other positions. So like I'm really learning to become a better leader for the whole team.
That's good. What about you, KJ?
Definitely like I like building communication with teammates. Like I feel like that's like probably the number one thing. And like second, like most definitely like also just like always eager to learn something new, because you want to repeat the same thing over and over. Like you want to learn new things. So yeah.
What about you, Dee?
Actually, you repeat the question?
Yeah. What's one thing that you want college coaches to know about you, the person?
So as me as a person, I'm a hard worker. You know, I'm gonna motivate my teammates. Like, you know, let's push it. Let's get this after hours. Let's get the before hours. You know, let's wake up early in the morning. Let's get a lap in. Let's go bench press. Let's go lift some weights. You know, I want coaches to know that I'm like a motivated kid. I'll help you motivate the team. I help you motivate you. Maybe motivate myself. I'm just like I'm a hard worker. I'm not gonna stop if my mindset is there. I'm gonna push myself to get there no matter what.
That's good. What about you, Reed?
I'm a D on this one. I'm a very hard worker. I say myself, you know, I want to become the best athlete and person I can be, whether that's on the field, in the classroom, anywhere. I just want to be the best person there, and I won't stop until I achieve that goal.
That's good. So you guys are all amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. But one thing that we didn't do at the start that I want to do now is I want you to tell me your grade, your position, and what school you go to. So Isaiah, grade, position you play, and school.
I'm a sophomore and I go to Richfield High School and I play slot receiver and safety.
How about you, Reed?
I am a sophomore. I go to Battleground High School and I play wide receiver and free safety.
And Kyron?
I'm a junior. I go to Beaverton High School, and I'm a wide receiver cornerback.
And KJ?
I'm a junior. I go to Clackamas High School. I play DB and wide receiver, so I'm an athlete.
And what about you, D?
I'm a senior. I go to Parkhurst High School. I play corner, safety, and receiver.
All right. And you play basketball.
Yeah, I'm a point guard and shooting guard for basketball.
All right. I hear you're pretty good too.
I'm all right.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you again so much for taking time out of your day or night to be here for this interview. Thank you again for your patience. I apologize for the technical difficulties at the showcase, not being able to hear you with the masks on. But I really appreciate you guys being here. And thanks again. This is Jean Amore with More Than Sports. Thanks for watching.